Walking Wake and Iron Leaves are currently the only two Paradox Pokemon based on legendary Pokemon, Suicune and Virizion respectively. So what if the other legendary Pokemon received their own Paradox forms? Hey everyone, Brandon here. Walking Wake and Iron Leaves left a lot of questions in the minds of Pokemon fans. Like, why do they look so different from their Scarlet and Violet book entries? Will there be more legendary Pokemon that receive their own Paradox forms? Will Larry ever go on a date with me? Okay, maybe that last one was just me. And the official Pokemon Twitter, for some reason. I know I'm a bit late to the party here as far as legendary Paradox speculation is concerned. Many artists and YouTubers alike have already speculated about this very thing, like the very talented Subarashi, whose work I'll be featuring today, and inspired this entire video. And if you want to be a legend, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. So let's begin with Gentle Automation, a normal ground-type Paradox version of Regigigas. While some could say that Regigigas was there in the ancient Pokemon world, therefore undeserving of a past Paradox form, I say, this is super cool. Shut up. Subarashi did think of this though, and this Paradox Pokemon comes from another universe where people would fly around in air machines. Pokemon is no stranger to alternate universes, as explained in the postgame of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So this could absolutely work. Not only that, but the existence of Walking Wake, which goes against Suicune's lore, implies that the Paradox Pokemon are more than just past or future versions of a Pokemon. I mean, they're called Paradox Pokemon, as in something that seems contradictory to what we know. Anyway, Gentle Automation supposedly used to be found in the ruins of a floating castle that was thought to be only of fairy tales. Some of you might have caught on to this already, but this is in fact based on the Studio Ghibli film Laputa, Castle in the Sky, which just so happens to be one of my absolute favorites. If you're a fan of the channel, you may know that my favorite legendary Pokemon is Regigigas, so mixing one of my favorite Ghibli films with one of my favorite legends was an instant win in my book. For real though, the ancient-looking robot troopers mix wonderfully with Regigigas' ancient, almost mechanical appearance, as well as the moss growing all over it matching both the robots found on Laputa and Regigigas' mossy legs and shoulders is just chef's kiss. Next up is Iron Wish, a psychic fairy-type Paradox version of Jirachi.
But Brandon,
I hear you say,
Jirachi is a mythical, not a legendary.
I mean, all mythical Pokemon are legendary Pokemon, but not all legendary Pokemon are mythical. It's like how all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are square. Make more sense? Okay, cool, moving on. Back to Iron Wish. It can absorb the light from the moon and the night sky to create an infinite amount of wishes. Hey yo, new infinite wish glitch just dropped. I love how Subarashi added in these night sky elements to reflect its new abilities, while maintaining what makes Jirachi feel like Jirachi, replacing the Tanzaku-like tags with these 6-pointed stars that are also reminiscent of the terrestrial symbol, and giving it a whole crescent moon to sit on. It's giving DreamWorks Kid. Its new unlimited wish ability is further illustrated in the fact that its stomach eye is open, which only opens when Jirachi is granting a wish. And with it being an LED screen, I imagine it never shuts. A lot of future Paradox forms tend to fall flat for me, but this one just steps it up with its creativity and slight bending of the source material, rather than just making a straight-up Pokemon robot like many are. Looking at you, Iron Jugulus. While we're on the topic of Jirachi and Pokemon that are different from their source material, let's move on to Iron Armagedon. This future Groudon form is a Dark Steel type. While it doesn't contain its original type like all Paradox Pokemon typically do, this one is a special exception because of its base inspiration. This isn't a Paradox form of the land-loving, rock-surfing Groudon we all know and love. This is a Paradox form of Meta Groudon, brought about in the Pokemon movie Jirachi Wishmaker, when Jirachi is forced to revive a fossil due to the antagonist, Butler's, selfish wishes, which then creates this manifestation of pure evil. Hence the dark typing. Iron Armageddon comes from a timeline where Meta Groudon's power was able to be harnessed. They then modified its body with technology to make it into the ultimate bioweapon. This whole concept is just insane in all the right ways. Like, what a deep cut for a Groudon Paradox form. But it just works so well, and ties in a movie that I adored in my childhood, all the while being such an epic and grandiose design fitting of its inspiration. And before you ask, because this is based on Meta Groudon, not regular Groudon, there is no past Kyogre counterpart at this time. Moving on from an incarnation of pure evil to an incarnation of pure light, we have Gleaming Aura, a fairy ice-type past Paradox version of Xerneas. This design is one after my own heart, as it is based on the prehistoric Irish elk, which comes from the genus Megaloceros, which my grass starter from the Cornera region, Serafloria, is also inspired by. The ice typing comes in with the Irish elk living during the Ice Age, but also when mixed with Xerneas' semi-rainbow horns could also reference auroras. And given that the Irish elk used to roam as far as Siberia Siberia, which the northern lights can be seen at, I feel this concept definitely fits well. Gleaming Aura's long and thick fur not only keeps it warm from the harsh cold climate it hails from, but also makes it look very fashionable. I'm not exactly sure what purpose the ice hooks coming out of the front of its chest serve, but they sure look cool, pun intended. Okay, enough sparkly, happy light, let's get back to the darkness with Iron Radiance, the flying poison type future paradox version of Yveltal. And can I just say, yes! Thank you! I adore the poison flying type combo and wish it was present in more Pokemon. The Zubat line is the only one who has it, even 8 generations after its inception. Personal gripes aside, Iron Radiant definitely fits its typing. It has immense toxic power that helps fuel it to reach speeds up to 2,000 miles per hour at altitudes of over 85,000 feet. The smoke surrounding it is actually highly poisonous exhaust clouds, which, by the way, look so epic. The Emissary of Death has never looked so cool. Like, for real, it looks even more like a creature that's just ready to completely end me brutally. I mean, just look at those horns. That is a death machine! At the beginning of the video, I mentioned Walking Wake, but what about a paradox form for the trio master of the legendary beasts, Ho-Oh? In comes Iron Rainbow, a fire fairy type, which has not been done by Game Freak to this point. And honestly, I cannot think of a better candidate than this amazing creature right here. Using Ho-Oh's connections to rainbows as the basis for a future paradox form is just inspired, and even more so with how it is incorporated into the design. Using the kind of light panels that future paradox Pokemon have to make a rainbow, while still making it feel cohesive and not cluttered, is a feat in and of itself. Iron Rainbow is a one-of-a-kind paradox Pokemon. It radiates heat that it uses to take off into the sky and even into deep space. It can somehow, as impossible as it sounds, actually absorb visible color to increase its power. And by now, I'm sure you've probably already thought or even commented, but the legendary beasts are past paradox Pokemon. Shouldn't Ho-Oh match? Personally, I don't really think it matters, as this is all speculative and probably won't happen anyway. But for those who have had that thought, we have Pyro Sage, a fire grass type. Taking Ho-Oh and turning it into a flightless bird is something I never knew I needed until I saw this beauty, giving it the old Galarian Zapdos treatment, taking it from Ho-Oh to Dodo. Pyro Sage can be found racing through dense jungles and leaping into active volcanoes. And finally, here's the paradox Pokemon that actually inspired this video, Silvery Terror, a psychic dragon type paradox version of Lugia. I kid you not, this is probably the coolest paradox Fakemon I've ever seen. Full stop. And I have seen many. Subarashi taking Lugia, which is already epic in its own right, and then making it into a dinosaur? The money just prints itself, Game Freak. Implement this, please! The dinosaur it is inspired by is also just a perfect pick for the hand-winged Lugia, the Therizinosaurus. The long claws of this dino blend seamlessly into the design of Lugia, making for an effortlessly awesome paradox form. Silvery Terror used its long claws to slash down trees to create pathways for itself due to its massive size. Subarashi truly knocked it out of the park with this design and all the designs in this video, so make sure to check them out. And that is what some other legendary paradox Pokemon might look like. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.